All right, in this lesson, we're going to be learning a little bit more about elastic load balancers and getting one up and running. So before we can do that, we need to create some EC2 instances in order to put into our target group. So let's start by going to EC2, and then we're going to go to Launch Instance. So we're going to leave this default on the AMI. We're going to leave it default on the instance type, making sure we're staying in the free tier. We need to select our key pair here. And then with network settings, we're going to go ahead and select the existing group, make sure that we are in the regular group that we want to use, the MyCCP group. But then we need to go to Edit, and let's take a look here. So when we go through this, we can make a change to either our VPC or our subnet. So in this instance, I want to go ahead and make a change to the subnet to assign it specifically. So what this is, you can see right here that these are subnets for the different availability zones. So these are the availability zones that are available for me in my region, US West 2. You're going to see different availability zones in here if you're in a different region, and that's fine. Just select any of the different availability zones that's available in your region. We have right here, you can see on the end, this is US West 2A, US West 2B, US West 2C, and then US West 2D. So in order to test this out and to make this highly available, I'm going to specifically create EC2 instances in multiple different availability zones. I'm going to select one first to go in US West 2A. So I specifically select that, and then it will make sure that that is in US West 2A. And then I'm going to just make sure that my security group looks right. I have to make sure that this storage is okay. Then we're just going to leave that default. But then we go down here, and this is where we're going to be using our EC2 user data script again. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and take this entire thing, since we're not creating our own AMI, and we just copy this, paste this into the user data, and then we also have to make sure to go to the metadata version, changes to V1 and V2. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and scroll down here and launch the instance. Okay. So because this is going to be going into a load balancer target group, we need to create several instances just like that. So I'm going to go back to instances. I'm going to go to launch an instance. Again, we're going to stay default on the AMI. We're going to stay default on the instance type. We're going to use our key pair. We go through we select an existing, use the MyCCP security group. I go to edit. And now this time, last time I chose 2A, now this time I'm going to choose US West 2B. So I select US West 2B, and then at the bottom here, we go into the advanced details, and I go all the way down to where it says user data. I'm copying all of this again. Everything is in there, so this entire file, and then we go to metadata version, we go V1 and V2, and then that's it. So now I've created one for US West 2B. And we'll let that one launch. And now I'm going to create one more, so that way that we have US West 2C. So let's go ahead and do that. So again, here we go. We have the default AMI. We have the default instance type. We select our key pair. We go to select the security group we want. And we go to edit. And then now we go to US West 2C right here. Okay, now that is all enabled. Now we leave the storage default. We go into advanced, and this is the last one that we're going to do this. So I already have this copied, so I'm just going to paste all of this file in there. And then we just change the metadata version one more time. So remember, we have to do that on all three of the instances we created. So default up here on the AMI and instance type, I needed to select the key pair, so that way we have the right key pair. I needed to make sure to go into my network settings and have the MyCCP security group, and then I'm specifically assigning it into a different subnet. This one, in the case of US West 2C, you have to hit edit to be able to change your subnet, so keep that in mind. And then storage as default, and we go all the way down here, paste this entire EC2 user data file into the user data, and then we make sure that the metadata version is V1 and V2 with the token optional. Great, so now I have that all launched. Okay, so now that we've created all of the instances that we're going to use, we're going to go into EC2 and we're going to create our target group. So one way that we can access target groups is we scroll down here and underneath load balancing, we have target groups. Then we go to create target group. We're going to select instances. So you can see there are a few different options to put into the target group. We're just going to select instances right here. And we can even nest load balancers if you see, so we can have a load balancer that points to another load balancer. That's an option. So we're going to call this my target group. And then we're going to go ahead and leave this as default, leave everything here as default. We can leave all the health checks as default. If we wanted to, we can go in and we can change the number of unhealthy thresholds. So how many bad health checks have to come back before we mark a target as unhealthy and we stop sending requests to them. We can also change like the timeout time and the interval of the health checks and stuff like that. But we're going to go ahead and just leave all that default, go to next. Okay, now here's where we select our instances. So we check all of our instances here, and then we say include as pending below. And then pending, you can see that it's going to be running health checks on these. And these are our 3 EC2 instances. We have the one from US West 2A, 2B, and 2C. So then we go to create target group. Okay, so when we click on the target group, we can see that we have health targets, we have total targets, and we have the number of healthy and unhealthy. Right now, it's basically just saying that it's unused, and that's because we don't actually have it in any sort of load balancing right now. So this just shows that we have registered targets, the 3 instances that we want. So this all looks good. Now we go down to, on the left-hand side, we go to load balancers. We need to create our load balancer. So we go to create load balancer. And then you can see the options that we have. You can learn a little bit more about the different load balancer types. We know that we want to create an application load balancer because it's going to be balancing HTTP type traffic. So we're going to go ahead and hit create. And we'll call this my load balancer. We want it internet facing, IPv4, so just leave all this default. We want to make sure that we include the availability zones that we're going to be using. So we have US West 2A, 2B, and 2C. Okay, that looks good. We scroll down here. We want the security groups. We want to make sure that we just include the my CCP security group. And then we go down here and we need to add, adjust the listener. So the listener is going to be what sends it. So we go to this and we select my target group. So now that's the target group that we'll include in there. And then that is really all we need to do. So now we just go into next, create load balancer. And then we go to viewed load balancer. And we can see right now it's provisioning. It will take just a few minutes. So we're just going to wait just a few minutes and then we're going to hit refresh. So let's see how long it takes. So once we've given it about 2 or 3 minutes, we should go ahead and just refresh this. And then it should go from provisioning to active. If it's still in provisioning, just give it a few more minutes and then hit the refresh button and we'll go to active. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the load balancer. So we're going to access the load balancer by going to the DNS name this time instead of a public IPv4 address. So we're going to go ahead and click on this icon to copy that into our clipboard. But before I go to that, I want to take a quick look at the My Target group now. So now I'll just go ahead and click on the My Target group and it opens it in a new tab. And then now let's notice here that we have 3 total targets, 3 that are listed as healthy, 0 that are listed as unhealthy. So now it's showing these, it's doing health checks on these, it's showing that these are healthy. Great. So this looks exactly how I would like it. We're going to go ahead and paste the load balancer address in here and let's see what happens. Perfect. So this shows us that we have the public IP address for one of our EC2 instances. This is the one that's in US West 2A. But let's have what happens if we refresh the load balancer address. So we're just going to refresh. And then look, now it's going to US West 2C, US West 2A, US West 2B. So it's continuing to change. Every time I refresh, it's sending the request to one of the different EC2 instances. So this is showing that right now, our load balancer, it's actually going to be high availability because we have resources in multiple availability zones. And if one of those goes down, so let's go back to our load balancer really quick. And then let's go to one of our instances. And let's take an instance and just terminate it. Or let's just terminate it. So we go to instances, we go to terminate instance. Great. So now this instance, the one that we had for US West 2B, is shutting down. So we don't have to make any changes here, but what's going to happen? Look, so this is the one when it tried to actually hit the EC2 instance for the US West 2B while it was in the process of shutting down. Let's refresh. US 2C, 2A, 2C, 2A, 2C, 2A, and then great. So now this is showing us, well, let's go through here, and then we want to go to our target groups and my target group, and let's see what we have. Now we only have 2 healthy targets in there, so it's not going to be trying to send it to the one that was 2B. We probably caught it while it was in the process of shutting down, and that's why it gave it that error. But look how self-recovering it was, where it only took just a moment to kind of figure itself out and take that out of the EC2 instance. So that's great. Okay, so now we need to clean up after ourselves. So we go through this, we go to our instances, and we're going to select both of these instances, uncheck that one, and then we go to instance state terminate. We want to terminate both these instances, yes. And we successfully terminated those, great. And now we go into our target groups, and we want to go ahead and delete. And then you can see it's not going to allow it to delete because we need to delete the load balancer first. So we go through here, delete this, delete the load balancer, confirm. So it's smart enough to not let us have a target group that gets deleted if they're still associated with the load balancer. So now we go through here, and we go through there, and now we can see it'll let us delete. Perfect. So that should be it. All right, well, that wraps up the Elastic Load Balancers demonstration. Now we're going to move on to auto-scaling groups.